Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Adriana coming at you with another video. And tonight is literally like 11:50 p.m. But anyways, we're gonna do a little girl chit chat. The topic for today is cutting off toxic people, and I'm gonna just give like some story times about some crazy that like I've dealt with, and just like we just gonna work through it, girl, because everyone deals with toxic people. It's just a part of life. I got me a little face mask, so I'm gonna be rubbing that on while we doing this. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Remember to like and subscribe down below. I'm probably gonna go to bed after this, but yeah, let's get right to it. All right, so I hope y'all have your snacks and everything. I got my paper towel. I'm about to put this bad boy on. I don't have anything to really put it on with. My makeup brush that I usually use is in my car, so I didn't feel like getting it. This is supposed to be a peel off one, and it's charcoal. I've never seen like a peel off charcoal one before, but let me put this on real quick before I get to talking. Okay, so yeah, I just made a little bit of a mess, so I had to clean that up real quick. I got a little on the bed, but it should wash off fairly easily, so I'm not too worried. But anyways, so the main story I wanted to talk about, I have two that I can think of. So I'm gonna start with the first one. So the lesson I learned in this story, I'm gonna just say up front, is that just because you know someone from like years ago doesn't mean you know them now. That's what I learned from this. And just because y'all were friends years ago doesn't mean you're friends now, and doesn't mean you don't owe them anything. And also, third lesson I learned, you can't help those who won't help themselves. So yeah. So basically what happened for this was, there's this girl that I've known literally since we were like toddlers, because our parents were friends, right? And she was going through, like, she was in a bad situation, like getting abused and stuff, and I edit videos, so she sent me like video evidence of it, and she's like, hey, like, can you edit this into like one clip and everything? Which I did that for her, but I was like, are you okay, yada yada yada. So I'm being the nice person. I'm checking up on her, making sure she's good, and I'm like, you need to get out of there, like, you should, this is not safe, you're not in a safe environment. So basically I'm trying to help her through the situation. And since my dad knew her, he's her godfather, I hit up my dad. I was like, hey, like, she's this far away, like 3 hours away, can you like help pay for an Uber for her? So me and him split the price, $200. And I'm like, so we Uber her to my dad's house, and she ends up staying with my dad for a little bit. And she keeps messaging me after she ends up staying with my dad for a little bit, talking about, oh, your dad's a creep, like he's been saying this, this, and this to me, and he's been doing this, this, and this, and yada yada yada. I'm not gonna go too in depth, I'm just giving like the broad story of it. But I was like, what the hell? Like, I was mad at my dad. And I didn't say anything to my dad about it at first. I said something to, my little brother's mom, because I'm like, well, if Jeremiah, my little brother, is gonna be hanging around my dad, his mom should know what's up. So I guess she talked to my dad about it, and my dad was like, oh, y'all think I'm the bad person, but she initiated it. And he sent me her nudes that she sent him. So then I hit her up, and I'm like, why did you make it seem like my dad was just creeping on you? You started it. So anyways, I'm not gonna go too in depth. Basically, I ended up cussing her out, and I don't think I ever responded to my dad's message that day, because I'm like, both of them were in the wrong in this situation. But moral of the story, I'm just like, I'm a really nice person, and I'm the type of person where I'll try to help anyone no matter what situation they're in. But I need to open my eyes and just see people for what they really are, because if I would have looked closer at the female that I helped out, I would have saw and be like, oh, well, she kind of got herself into the situation, not justifying it, but I'm just kind of like, oh, well, she, you know, got kicked out of her house because she was doing drugs or doing whatever, you know. So I just really got to open my eyes more. So that's just one example of like those lessons I learned. And then the other story I wanted to tell, which I kind of dived into in like my get ready with me military video, which I talked about it at the end whenever I was in the car driving. And so the story about this guy friend I had, right? I would always go to the club which he worked at. He was a bouncer, right? And I would always go there. That's how I met him. I thought he was a really cool guy or whatever. And then I started hanging out with him, his baby mama, and their kids. One time I didn't think anything of it, and then once I moved onto the ship, I didn't really have anywhere to stay. Like, you're supposed to stay on the ship, but no one wants to sleep on the ship every day. So I started staying with them, and things were just super weird. Like I mentioned in the other video, there was this one day whenever their son went out to take the trash out, and then me and the roommate, we walked outside and we're just chit-chatting. Son goes back inside, comes out 5 minutes, walks down the street, walks back to the house, and we're like, okay. And then the mom comes out, and she just stands there and like stares at us while we're talking, and we're like, bro, we're just talking. And she's like, oh, y'all need to come inside and eat. So we go inside, and the food's not even ready. There was also this one time where me and the roommate were gonna go to the club the one night, and I'm in the bathroom and I'm getting ready and I'm doing my hair and stuff, and I have the water running, and I can hear her literally telling him and lecturing him, telling him, oh, she's in the military, she's gonna mess up your life, like yada yada yada, like basically talking shit about me behind my back. And I can hear it. I thought maybe she thought I was in the shower and I couldn't hear her, but I could definitely hear her. And she's like saying crazy stuff to him. So there was a whole lot of stuff that happened. But yeah, so I'm just diving into bits and pieces of it. So anyways, yeah. So toxic people. I also ended up bailing that guy friend out of jail. He ended up going to jail because he like violated his parole or something like that with like traffic violations. I honestly don't remember 100%. I know it was something stupid, and then I was stupid because I actually bailed him out, not realizing how shitty of people they were at the time. You know, he over there admitted to murder to me, and I don't even know who it is. Otherwise I would snitch, like hands down I would snitch. I'll take that reward money for information on that. Like, it's not even about the money, it's just about like right and wrong. But so anyways, I'm gonna shut up with my stories now, but let's really just talk about like cutting off toxic people. And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be like anyone really, because anyone in your life can be toxic, and it's okay to cut them off. Like whenever I was going through everything with my dad, I don't think I really need to explain. I have YouTube videos explaining enough. Like I'll put one up here and in the description, and you guys will know. But yeah, whenever I was going through like crazy stuff with my dad, there was a restraining order, and I didn't talk to him for like a good year or two. He got cut off. It's okay to cut off toxic people. I still am not close to him, and I refuse to get close to him again for many reasons. He's still my dad, and obviously I still communicate with him and try to be civil with him, but for the most part, yeah. So I don't know, I feel like everyone feels bad for if you're raised with like crazy parents. Cutting them off can be difficult, but sometimes that's just the right thing to do, unfortunately. Because why am I the kid and you're like making it harder for me to actually be an adult because you're putting me in these crazy situations that I shouldn't have to be in, you know? Like whenever for my father, I signed for a car for him, and he was the co-signer. And then he was like, yeah, I got it. I'm like, if you can't afford the payments, let me know and I'll pick it up. But me, I was young. I had just gotten back from boot camp. I had just turned 19. And he took advantage of my kindness, and then he didn't pay for the car. So my credit score went from a 710 to a 500. and I'm still trying to build it back up. But it's hard because I have my own credit cards and bills that I gotta worry about, and then it took a lot to figure out that situation. So it's okay to cut parents off. Whenever it comes to toxic friends, it's really just paying attention to red flags. You can't put lifelong expectations on someone that's only meant for a season. Some friends are not meant long term, and that's not always a bad thing. Like, some friends you just grow apart from. Like, I had some really good friends that I was friends with in middle school that I'm not friends with now. Our lives just took us in the opposite directions. Do I have anything against them? No. If they were to hit me up and be like, yo, you want to hang out? I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. So, but on the way of like toxic people, some people are just meant for a season and not a lifetime. And sometimes God brings people into your life to teach you lessons. They aren't meant to stay in your life. They're just to teach you something. Like with those people that I dealt with. The drug dealer, the dude I bailed out of jail, the crazy baby mama. Like, those people were not meant for my lifetime. They were meant for a season. And it took me a really long time to figure this out, because at first I was like, yeah, like, they're cool people. Yeah, like, oh, I'm babysitting the kids, but I don't mind. You know, I'll just be a nice person. Oh, yeah, like, they party and they have a good time, so I'm trying to focus on, like, the good parts of it. But the whole time, all they're doing is breaking me down and breaking me down and down and down until there's, like, this much of me left. And you can only take so much, like, crazy stuff until you just snap. And I was really at my breaking point. Like, I shouldn't be saying this because I don't want someone from my job to watch this video and be like, oh shit. But let's be so for real. Whenever my ship went underway a while ago, I was really depressed on that underway. I was away from all the drama. I had my phone. I was away from, I don't think, were me and my fiance back together at that point? I don't think so. I'm not sure. If we were, we had just gotten back together. I think we just got back together at that point. Or no, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I was at a really low point in life because I was dealing with all the drama. You know, I had bailed him out of jail. There was so much toxicity between the baby mama and her coming at me, and then the dude, like, he did drugs in my car. The other dude admitted to murder. And so I was at a really low point where, like, I was honestly feeling suicidal. Like, I don't know. I feel like whenever I say that, I don't actually have, like, the willpower to do it, but that's just how I feel. Like, I'm that depressed. I was. But it really took that underway. Overall, my point is, it really took me going on that underway and getting away from that drama to really look at the bigger picture and be like, okay, what are these people actually adding to my life for me to, like, keep? Why am I still going back to their house? Why am I still helping them with money? Why am I still helping them with the kids? Like, they're not adding anything to my life. So it took me being away for a week, and they still owe me money, but I don't think I'll ever get it. They owe me like $200, but if not more. But it is what it is at this point. But it really took me going away from that for a week to really look at the bigger picture. And sometimes when it comes to cutting toxic people off, we really need to just, like, space from them and just take time to think. Like, you might not want to cut this person off, but they're really not adding anything to your life. Like, so yeah, that's just some of the crazy stuff I've been dealing with. Well, I'm not dealing with it anymore. Like, I'm moving past it. Look at this mask peeling off. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make more friends, and, like, I post on, like, Instagram threads, and I'll, like, actually message some of the females about, like, hey, like, here's a little bit about myself. Maybe we can see if we mesh and, like, hang out sometimes, but it hasn't gone anywhere yet, so we'll see where that goes. But excuse me. And then Yeah, so I'm trying to get away from being around toxic people. If you're dealing with toxic people like I was constantly, cut them off. Cut them off. No ifs, ands, or buts. You are too good for them. You need to cut them off. Because me, I'm in the military. I have a life ahead of me. I'm sure y'all got jobs. And if you don't, whatever, you still have a life ahead of you. You do not need that person. Like, really think about it. Do you think that person, like a year from now, if you cut them off, do you think they're gonna really care? 9 times out of 10 they aren't. Really look at the bigger picture and be like, if I cut this person off, is it gonna negatively affect my life a year from now? If that answer is no, and all they're doing is bringing negative energy onto you, sorry if you guys are like like what's squeamish and you don't like this stuff. But if all they're doing is like adding negative stuff to you and you don't see cutting them off as like bringing negativity to you like a year from now, cut them off. Like, just do it. And if you need help coming up with what to say to them, just ask your friends. Or for me, whenever I cut off those people, I really was just like, hey, like, you know, I appreciate you letting me stay with you, but I'm really not in a good mindset right now. I'm trying to get back into a routine in my life right now, and I just don't think I should be hanging around y'all. And that was essentially what I said to them. Like, I'm not in the right headspace and I need to get my shit together. So I hope you can understand that I don't want to hang out anymore because I need to focus on myself. Like, you don't have to actually tell them you're cutting them off because of how they act. I just made it more about myself because it was about myself at that point. I was trying to focus on my mental health, you know, but it was also about them. So you can just find nice ways of saying it if you're too scared to say it. Oh, look at how satisfying that is. I've never had like a peel off mask peel off that good. I hope everything I'm saying makes sense. Like, I like telling my stories of what I go through because I go through freaking crazy stuff. And some of it's my fault. I put myself in these crazy situations and I just get mixed up with the wrong people. But I hope that by me telling my story, even if you're not going through like something as bad as what I went through, or even if you're going through something worse, I hope by telling my stories that it can just shed some light on some situations and help people in the long run. And that's really why I share any story time or like girl talk and advice. But yeah, girl, cut them off. They are not worth your energy. They're not worth your energy. Like, I know this one girl who she fights with her mom constantly, and it's always a battle. And like, she's a teenager, so maybe it's just her being a teenager and it's part of her attitude. But at the same time, knowing the stuff that her mom does, her mom is extremely toxic. And, you know, I hate to see her going through it, and I try to give the best advice I can. But this goes along with, it's okay to cut your parents off. You might struggle whenever you cut them off, but it's not the end of the world. It's really not. Get a job, do what you need to do. If that means working freaking 45 hours a week, you know, do it. But I'm rambling, sorry. I just figured I'd come on here and just chit chat. So yeah, more of the story, cut toxic people out of your life. And not everyone is meant to be in your life for your life. Sometimes they're put in your life as a lesson from God. Sometimes they're just meant to be a season, and that's okay. But yeah, it's about to be 2025. We need to start prioritizing ourselves whenever it comes to these toxic friendships. I'm really at the point where I don't want to have drama in my life, and I didn't have drama in my life really until I met these people. Like, I'm a fairly chill person. I stay to myself. But anyways, yeah, it's almost 2025. We don't have time to be freaking dealing with these toxic people. We're cutting people off. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you're going through some crazy shit, cut that bitch off. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna take my ass to bed because it's 12:15 in the morning. But I hope you guys enjoyed this random chit chat. Remember to like and subscribe down below.